Well, hello there. It's 9:47 on the night of Saturday, May 25th, 2019. Yeah, I know it's a day late. I usually do this on Friday, but I had to be up early this morning, uh, going in to do some overtime at work. So I was up early and I went to bed early and I didn't have time to do it yesterday. So here I am now. But I figure I'm still on one a week. Although last week there were two and there might be a second one this week, but I'll get to that in a minute. Um, I've realized that I've been spending a lot of time rewriting and not actually writing because I have a lot of projects that I want to get back to. And what I do is I will, if it's short enough, 10 pages or less that I have written, I'll go back and I'll just rewrite the what I've already written just to get my mind back on track. Which is fine, except that I also have three stories that I have to finish. One of them, My Soul to Keep, is 2/3 to 3/4 of the way finished, and I really should be focusing on that. In fact, I'm probably going to be doing that after I finish here. But any progress is good progress. Doesn't matter how fast you do it. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And that leads me into one of the things that I wanted to talk about is writing processes. I was watching a video earlier today about writing processes, and how you do it is more important than how somebody else says you should do it. Or as I like to say, everybody does the same thing differently. I mean, as Hemingway said, we are all journeymen in a craft to which there are no masters. There are people out there who swear that a piece of fiction can't be good unless you outline it. There are people who will swear up and down for this, which is wrong. Which is absolutely wrong. I have never plotted anything. I may make notes on an upcoming scene, but I don't plot out the entire thing. And quite honestly, those notes are just like a general. Okay, this is what happens. And even in that case, the sequence of events might be in a different order, and some might be left out entirely if I don't feel they're necessary when I get to the actual scene. People will also say that you shouldn't work on multiple projects at once, to which I say, nonsense. I have to work on multiple projects at once. See, with me, what it boils down to is I work on one, let's say I'm working on one project. Then, because I don't plot everything out, I have to now figure out what comes next, and now I'm not doing any writing. So what I do then is move on to another project. And while I'm working on that other project, my subconscious is working on the first project. It works best for me. I mean, all total is something like 20 something stories, almost 30 stories at this point, that I've written and self-published. And though I don't like to brag, yeah, I've only gotten 5-star reviews, so there's that. So yeah, it's what's important is for each individual writer to figure out what works best for them. If you work best sitting at your computer typing it up as you go, working out an extremely detailed plot outline and following it like it's plans for disarming a nuclear weapon. Great. That's great. If you find it necessary to figure out everything about your characters down to the most minute detail, down to what brand of toothpaste they prefer, that's great. That's great. That's great. And if you want to describe your characters to the nth degree, right down to what kind of toothpaste they use, great. That's great. If that works for you, fine. Or if you're like me, you have an idea where you're going most of the time, and you just have to figure out how to get there. I do have a checklist that I work from an outline, actually, only outline that I actually follow, for my characters, that allows me to get some physical features out of the way: height, weight, eyes, hair, general build, things like that. Just some background things. This way I know what the characters generally look like and how they, what they're capable of. And I also don't describe my characters very well. I know what they look like. I know who they look like, because I treat each one like I'm casting a movie. So I find actors and actresses or people that I can say, okay, this person looks like this character. If I was casting a movie, I'd want him to play this guy. I'd want her to play this woman. It works for me, and it's also a little bit of a thought experiment that I, that I ask some of my beta readers to engage in. You're casting the movie. Who would you cast? And I just want to see what they come up with. It's really interesting sometimes what some people come up with. But yeah, and then the thing is, I don't know where it all comes from. A lot, like I said, there are a lot of writers out there. I can only imagine that they sit back and they say, okay, I do this, I'm successful, so everybody should do this. Okay, it works for you. Doesn't work for me. Outlining doesn't work for me. Sorry. Lecturing to me is not going to change that. So, there you go. Also, one of the things that I don't like is when people start saying, "Oh, writing is a job. You have to treat this like a job. You have to do 5,000 words a day, or you're just phoning it in." No. I know I've mentioned before that I have had nights where I have literally written 5 words, if that. But you know what? Those are 5 more words than I had the previous day. Slow progress is still progress. It doesn't matter how long it takes you. This is what I think some people do not understand. It doesn't matter how fast you do it. We all work at our own pace. We all work in a way that's best for us. I like working in spiral-bound notebooks with my fountain pen and writing everything out by hand, and typing it up as I go. Finish the scene, type it up. Finish the next scene, type that up. Because that works for me. That's what I'm most comfortable doing. That's what feels best, and that's what works best for me. And another thing is, you got to make sure you're enjoying yourself. Because let me relate to this. When I first started writing back in the mid-70s, I actually did start writing in about 75. I always say I started writing the day after Star Wars. I should correctly say I started seriously writing the day after I saw Star Wars. I actually started writing in '75. Started writing some fan fiction, though I didn't know the term at the time. I don't even know if it existed at the time. For a science fiction show that I watched, and they were bad, really bad, truly bad, horrendously bad. And before you ask, no, they don't exist anymore. Don't ask. You're not going to see them. But the thing is, I wasn't enjoying myself. Even after Star Wars rolled around, it wasn't fun. Even after Star Wars rolled around, I started writing seriously, working on my own original stories with my own original characters. It wasn't fun. I wasn't enjoying myself. And finally, after listening to one of my teachers, I finally got it through my head to just relax and let it go. Just let it go. Just relax. Right. As Neil Gaiman would say, write a word, then write the next word, then write the next word. Keep going until you're finished. And yeah. So that's my little unscripted ranting about process. Basically, what it boils down to is find what works best for you. Do it. If something's not working, try something else. If you're not a plotter, if you're a pantser, though I don't like that term, it's okay. Try plotting. If working on multiple projects doesn't work for you, fine. Focus on one. We all do the same thing differently. So don't let anybody tell you what you're doing is wrong, because what you're doing is right for you. What they're doing is right for them. Take every piece of writing advice with a grain of salt the size of Jupiter, okay? And other thing I wanted to talk about today is some of the plans for things that I've got coming up. My plan right now is to get the cover for Stranger done, because Stranger is ready to go. I just have to get the cover made. Raven is ready to go. It has a cover. What I'm probably going to be doing is I'm going to get it uploaded and try going the pre-sale start. Get it up and say, okay, it's available for pre-sale from this date to this date, and see if that generates any sales. I'm going to do the same thing with Raven. If my tentative dates right now are July 1st for Raven, August 1st for Stranger, although that could possibly change. They might get pushed back. I have to see how long it takes me to get the cover made for Stranger, and to be quite honest, I have no idea what I want the cover to Stranger to look like. So I got to start going through start going through some sites, and and seeing what inspires me. And so that's the fiction plans, aside from also trying to making every effort to get my Soul to Keep finished, because I have to be honest with you. I have written a lot of words in all the time that I've been writing, but my favorite 2 words to write are the end. So yeah, I'm looking forward to writing the end on Stranger. Not Stranger, that's already finished. My Soul to Keep, excuse me. So yeah. I am also thinking, I don't know if I'm going to do it tomorrow or Monday, because I am off from work on Monday. I'm thinking of getting back into my other series, which I was calling the storyteller, where I would read excerpts from the other books, or looking at the two collections, the other stories, just to get some awareness out there. I don't know, like I said, if I'm going to do that today or, well, I know I'm not going to do it today. It's now a couple minutes after 2, so couple minutes after 10, excuse me. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Unscripted and unedited, so I kind of like it that way. So that's my plan right now, along with trying to get more projects finished. And that's about it. That's about it for this week. And just one thing about editing videos, I would really like to do that. I have editing software that I've downloaded. I just haven't had time to do it. It's because that's the thing, and that's or I might as well address that also. Time, carving out time, making time, finding time, because you have to figure everything you do is taking time away from writing. Now, of course, there are things you have to do. You got to go to work. Unfortunately, I was born brilliantly creative, not rich, so I have to work. So that's minimum 40 hours a week. So then I got to start carving out the time to get it done. And now it's time to get to it. And I'm going to finish this. I'm going to walk over there to my comfy chair, and I'm going to get back to writing. I'm going to try and focus on my soul to keep and get that finished, because I really like it. It's a little bit different from anything I've finished. It's more of a character piece, almost no action in it. But I'm kind of liking that more philosophical outlook. But we'll see. One can only sit and put in the effort and get it done. So that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, whoever is listening and watching. Link down below, of course, for the books on my website. And please, if you do buy, make sure you go put up a review. Every little bit helps. Every review helps, good, bad, or indifferent. And I will keep you up to date on what's going on with Raven and Stranger. And remember, we are each of us the heroes of our own stories and the villains of someone else's. Expect me when you see me. Bye.